Yo, how are we doing, everybody? So today I'm doing an impressions video of Another Eden, The Cat Beyond Time and Space. So this game has been out for a little while now, but previously it was just for mobile devices. This game has recently come to PC, so I decided to check it out. I'm a huge fan of Chrono Trigger. It is my all-time favorite JRPG. So when I heard that this game was made by some of the developers that were doing the story, I believe, that worked on Chrono Trigger, I was like, okay, absolutely, I have to check this out. When it comes to the initial impressions just from the visual style, the game does very much feel like a mobile game, which is understandable as it is, and it was ported. I don't think that's a bad thing. I am glad that this game came to PC. It is absolutely my hope that more mobile games will be making their way over to PC. I hope that this game does really well. But as for this game itself, I do like the art style. I've never been against like chibi characters. Personally, I play a lot of JRPGs, I watch a lot of anime, so that is not something that bugs me. I do also really enjoy the character portraits. The character portraits are very detailed. I feel like they put a lot of work into them, especially for all the characters that come with the Gacha system. I feel like they have absolutely amazing designs. The characters look very, very cool. It seems like the artists that worked on this game are very talented. Now, the Gallery of Dreams is essentially the game's Gacha system. The game is going to give you a couple items, like in-game items that you can use to purchase heroes or these characters. They have different stats based on the number of stars that they have, anywhere between 3 to 5 stars. I assume they can be less, but I have not seen it. And yeah, like the starting characters, like in that first encounter that the game pushes you towards, you'll see characters that have, say, 5 stars, but one of them will be grayed out. Essentially, you have to unlock that 5th star, which is going to require a lot of time and energy on your part. There's a lot of grinding in this game. Obviously, mobile games, freemium games, they are trying to incentivize the player to put money into the game so that you can purchase these characters, get their, strongest forms or whatever. While I'm not a huge fan of that, I do appreciate that Another Eden isn't really the worst offender here, as I'm told this game can be beaten without using the gacha system at all, that you can go through the entire main story. As far as optional content, I'm told that might be a bit more demanding and that you may require to have the actual 5 stars, so depending on how you feel about that, that might be a bigger deal for you than it is for me. But if you can at least beat the game with the base roster, I think that's really, really cool. And yeah, I do want to take advantage of the gacha system. I don't want to spend any money myself. I don't like spending money on mobile games unless I really, really enjoy them, and I'm only at the beginning of this game, so I'm not ready to do that. But yeah, just looking at the character designs, I think they're extremely interesting. Clearly a lot of effort was put into the design for these characters. But what's cool here is that your party is going to be comprised of these characters. You're going to have actually 6 of them. Now, when you actually go to, like, say, the first tutorial, right here, you're just going to be working with 2 characters as the game is trying to teach you its systems. And it appears that with this game, they're trying to push how important synergy is, as they'll be showing you how to utilize skills to increase your own attack or reduce the opponent's defense. Many games have had this, even in like Final Fantasy 1, we have had skills of this sort. But what's interesting here is just the fact of how many different abilities you will have going. It appears that with each character, you will have basically your basic attack and then 3 other skills. But on top of that, you will have 2 characters that are in your reserve slots, which I think is really cool. But yeah, essentially what happens in this game is the characters in your reserve slots are continuously healing. So if you ever have someone on the front line that is taking too much damage, you can swap them out with one of the characters in the back. And that character coming in will also perform a unique skill. And obviously they will have more HP and be able to take hits. That character that was in the front line before was not able to. So it's all about trying to build a good team. You want to be able to attack with a lot of different attack types so that, if there's any resistances or weaknesses you need to look out for or take advantage of, that's something you can do. Obviously you want skills that work together, like if you have a character that has a skill that increases piercing damage, you might want to have a team that is mostly comprised of piercing attacks, so you can get as much damage as possible. I really like that. I think that's very cool. I think it builds directly into the gacha system. It makes it so that you really do want to gain access to a lot of these characters and see how they can connect with each other as far as their damage dealing abilities, which is really, really cool. But yeah, aside from the gacha system, I think this game does have one thing that has me looking a little sad, and that would have to be the ability board. So the ability board is similar to like talent trees in like say World of Warcraft, or maybe the sphere grid in Final Fantasy X. So every time you level up, you'll be getting ability points, and you can spend those ability points on the ability board to gain access to new skills and to increase certain stats. Now, what my problem is with the ability board is that there isn't really any variation for most characters most of the time. When you're going through the ability board, like for Aldo, for example, essentially his board is just a straight line. Like it goes right, left, and right, but like as you can see at the very beginning, it is effectively just a straight line. There are no choices to be made. You don't get to choose between like, oh, should I increase my intelligence or should I increase my speed? You don't have a choice. You have to increase everything that is on that line. So there's no choice, honestly, here. I feel like this is pointless. If you're going to have a system like that, then you might as well just let the character level up. It's kind of a waste of time, I feel, to have me come in and spend the ability points if I'm not actually making any choices here. Though, that's not how it always is. There are some splits here and there further in the boards, and some of the other characters also have more branching paths. So it isn't the worst, but again, it's still very simple. And then again, this is the unfortunate side with the gacha system. Characters that are 3 or 4 stars typically don't have as many branches, they don't have as much to choose from, whereas characters with 5 stars, not only do they typically have more branches, but they also just have more stats. Like they will get more out of their ability boards. They will absolutely just be more powerful than 3 or 4 star characters. So for me, that definitely rubs me the wrong way, but you might feel differently. But yeah, that is going to be my impressions for this game. I think it's very interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to checking out more of the story. The game is very engaging. Like right at the start, it's throwing in this Beast Master, this Beast King. We don't know what's going on with him. They're attacking the town, stealing your sister. It's really cool that these events are just happening so quickly. I really appreciate games that can do that. But yeah, I only have my impressions here. I haven't played too much of the game myself, so yeah, I'll have to keep looking at this and maybe I will do a full review in the future.